Thank you, Mother, Father, God. Thank you, archangels and ascended masters, for the perfect clarity, the perfect decisiveness, the perfect peace that is here on this planet right now. We choose this moment to have peace in our hearts, and we choose to surrender anything that is not serving humanity. We surrender that to the angels right now. If that's refrigerator size, global size, the size and weight of every single weapon on the planet, we choose to do that right now. We choose to release weapons, release access to violence, the impulse for violence, anything causing violence, including mental illness, including obsession, including hatred, including miseducation, including small-mindedness. We let all those things leave the planet right this second. We allow right now for us to feel relief with this being done. We choose to let any hypervigilance that we might feel or are forced to feel, we choose to let that go. We choose to walk in peace. We choose to inhabit peace on the planet. We choose to speak peace into action right now. So if we could just take in a breath. And like you were, like a peace march, if you could feel yourself arm in arm with the angels, Archangel Michael, Archangel Ariel, Archangel Gabriel, Archangel Metatron, Archangel Haniel, Archangel Raphael, and all these different guides, if we could just feel all of them together right now. And if we could say to hatred, violence, indifference, and disassociation, if we could say out loud to all that, no more. Never again. And if we could feel like a tidal wave, your words, moving those things off of the planet, dislodging any deep-seated ignorance or hate, any deep-seated fear. We recognize the role of fear in all this, of the otherness, and we choose to celebrate the oneness that's available to us. That is the dominant energy on the planet right now, even though it may not look like it. So if we could just breathe into all that. And with that, if we could feel Archangel Michael scrubbing everything, scrubbing your skin, scrubbing the floor, scrubbing all surfaces on the planet right now, scrubbing the internet, and allowing there to be a freshness to the world right now. Allowing there to be an erasure, an erasing of hate, of fear, of ignorance. And allowing, specifically, Michael is saying, a relaxation and release of any fixation that anyone might have on other people, on a race, on a culture, on a gender. And we choose this moment to breathe into where we're heading, which is for every single person on the planet to walk where they are with perfect peace, with not even a thought of threat. For people of color, for women, for men, for everyone, for children, to walk with immunity and perfect peace and confidence, being able to enjoy the trees, to enjoy the sunset, to hear the birds. So we allow, as Bonnie said, for any hypervigilance that is present, to turn the volume for turn down on that. And we welcome the good that is here right now and the good souls that inhabit this call right now and the mighty intentions that we have as a group. We choose to put that to use right now. And in putting it to use, if we could just say, once again, no. And to peace, to harmony, to oneness, we'll say out loud with our might, yes. And let's say out loud, I live on a peaceful planet. And let's say again, I live on a peaceful planet. I experience perfect peace on this planet. I walk in harmony. My steps are pure. My steps are clear. I'm an agent of change on the planet. And I choose for the planet to change to peace right now. Good. If we could just take in a breath. So we mentioned in conversation after the call yesterday, the angels know when to work with humor, when to be serious. Let's just take this seriously. If we could just take in a breath and let that change happen. So if we can indeed just feel the visual and the feeling, the knowing, the kinesthetic experience of walking in perfect peace and being in peace wherever you are. To let context not matter, but the context is perfect peace. Let's just breathe into that. And if we could feel and know and bless everyone who was murdered yesterday in Atlanta, and helping their souls to fully transition off the planet, to let their family, their loved ones, their neighbors, their friends have grace and peace accompany them right now. And we indeed choose to live in a weapon-free world. And let there be peace and harmony for all those souls and any soul who's ever been harmed by violence or killed by violence. We let peace come to them, their families, and we choose to live in a world where no one gets lost, where no one forgets their humanity and thinks killing people is an option, where everyone matters. So we'll just breathe into that. And let's indeed, let's just give this to God. Let's hand this over to God and the angels. And if we could recognize our role in this moment right now as ambassadors of peace, and if we could just say that out loud, I am an ambassador of peace. I do make the world better. I walk the earth with peace. Wonderful. If we could just take in a breath. And if we could notice, like in an epic work, like in a great work of literature or theater, or a film where the global is personal, if we could just take in a breath and notice what is personal for you about everything we just did, of choosing peace, intending peace, speaking peace into being. Let's just take in a breath, let all that come to you right now. And if we can notice, Archangel Raphael's talking, his wording is what is restive in that and what allows you to rest. And if we could notice the space that is here, if we could notice the space here where the hypervigilance can lessen, and we could do that with knowing that prayer has been put into place. This is not recklessness. This is not using your savvy, but just noticing what it's like to feel the impact of intention. Wonderful. Good. And if we could just take in a breath, and let's notice the goddess Kuan Yin smiling at you. And she and Archangel Michael, so they're using a computer analogy, like if you had two browsing windows open. Let's notice that the global prayers are happening, the prayers for peace in America and the world are happening, that's active. Let's just notice in this other square, Kuan Yin smiling at you. And if we can notice Archangel Michael being in both places at once, in the global and the personal. And him and Kuan Yin and Michael standing in front of you and looking at you with the adoration of a loving parent. And if you could notice in this moment that they know what to do. They're using a word, odd word, they're using the word prescription, that they have the perfect prescription for you, not meaning medication, unless that's a viable thing for you. Just notice them having that solution, that prescription for you. If we could just breathe in, and let's allow in this moment for them to help. Wonderful. If we can notice Kuan Yin kneeling next to you and holding your hand, let's notice that is a mighty handhold that she has. And if we can notice her turning up your palm like she's going to read your palm, if we can notice what she does with your palm being upright, just noticing what she does, perhaps tracing things with her finger, drawing symbols on your palm, just noticing what's true for you. She's asking that we truly drop out of the idea of fate and to feel ownership. And this is where the global is personal. Let's just trust that we just did mighty prayer to create peace on this planet, especially in this country. So let's very simply let the infusion of those prayers come into your life. You get to live on a peaceful planet. Your children get to live on a peaceful planet. Unborn children whose mothers are on this call get to live on a peaceful planet. Everyone. So we'll just breathe into that. Wonderful. And with the sense, whatever it is that this is going to be different for everyone, but if we can notice what Kuan Yin has done, being like henna, like a henna tattoo or drawing on your hand, we can notice what it's like to take your palm and what Kuan Yin infused into it, and very simply just put it on your face. And if we could notice in her words, the adoption of a peaceful face. Wonderful. If we could breathe in, let's notice Archangel Michael standing tall with you. And if you could just notice what that means to you, that he is standing right there with you, tall. And if we could take in a moment, perhaps with a breath breathing in like it's our first breath, and whether you see him with your physical eyes or in your mind's eye, whether you know that he's there, whether you hear him or feel him, let's very simply take a moment and just notice details in Archangel Michael. Perhaps what he's wearing, his gaze, his energy, his aura, his presence with you, that he's right there with you right now. And if we could have one of these moments that usually comes naturally, let's just have it be consciously present where the angels move away from being a concept or an idea into a full-on experience. If we could just breathe in, and if we could say out loud, thank you, Michael and Kuan Yin, for being with me. And if you could use which Claire, which thing, seeing, hearing, knowing, and feeling, if we could, which is most dominant, if we could just say out loud, Michael, I know you're there, or Michael, I see you there, or Michael, I feel you there, or Michael, I hear you there. We could just take in a breath, and whichever one is most dominant, let's say that out loud. Michael, I know you're right there. Wonderful. If we could breathe in. Okay. If we could just notice for a moment. Okay. So we're working with the national, the global, the personal. Let's go for the universal. If we could notice with the same attention being paid that Archangel Ariel is washing over the whole universe. And like Dr. Emoto's work of infusing energy into water by writing a word or having intention, we could notice Ariel writing on the universe, peaceful. And she's expanding that into, this is a peaceful universe. And if we could say out loud, I live in a peaceful universe. And if we could say that in a tone, not with sternness or harshness, but with a definitive statement, which might involve a hint more volume, if we could just say out loud, I live in a peaceful universe. And saying out loud, I am peaceful in a peaceful universe. I live on a peaceful planet. I live in a peaceful nation. I live in a peaceful city. I live in a peaceful home. I am peace. Wonderful. So we'll just breathe into all that. Good. So if we could notice three figures, Michael, Ariel, and Kuan Yin, we can notice them as a trio, like a vocal group. Let's notice what the three of them communicate to you at once, which might come from three different directions, but it's one voice. If we could just breathe into that and just notice what they communicate to you. Wonderful. If we could breathe in, and just in a flash, in a second, if you and Kuan Yin can trade places. So you are the goddess of compassion. Okay. And as the goddess of compassion, along with your friends, Archangel Michael and Archangel Ariel, let's very simply take a moment to help all empaths on the planet right now, which is every single person on this call. If we could just breathe in and let the heaviness lift off of all of them, and let only the wisdom remain, only the love remain, only the good. Wonderful. So if we could just breathe into that. And as Kuan Yin and as yourself, let's speak out loud a truth. If we could say out loud, I'm done with guns and greed. I embrace love and generosity. There is enough for everyone. Good. And if we could notice, as you being Kuan Yin, the goddess of compassion, let's notice for the human being who's in front of you, what symbol you might put on their forehead, or just very simply the touch that you administer to their forehead, and the blessing you bestow upon that human body. And if we could feel in a flash across the globe right now, anything that is a symbol, be that a statue, be that a cross, be that a crystal, be that a flower or a tribute or a bench with someone's name on it, or an angel card, anything that symbolizes something of power, might, and is expansive. We could feel Kuan Yin and the angels infusing their energy into those symbols, including the ones on your person, in your view, in your home, in your pocket, in the closet, in your neighborhood. Feeling an infusion, all the ley lines on the planet, all the power centers, Stonehenge, the Mall in Washington, D.C., the Champs-Élysées in Paris. And just feeling the earth changing. And let's say out loud, I live on a peaceful planet. And if you can notice, as the goddess of compassion that you are right now, if you can notice you saying to the human being, you live on a peaceful planet. Great. If we could just take in a breath, if we could notice what it's like consciously, let's do two things. If we could just become you again, so you're the human. If you could feel as the empath, there being more space, the heaviness being lifted off. And if we could just, like crumpling up a piece of paper, if we can notice what it's like to let all superstition, old wives' tale, things about black cats and this and that, anything that connotates negativity, if we could just crumple up that paper and toss it away. And if we could say out loud, I release the legacy of superstition. I release the legacy of bad omens. I release the legacy of negativity. I have a positive intention of love right now. And speaking of fact, my positive intention supersedes mediocrity. I cease living on a mediocre planet. I live on an excellent planet with expansive, well-rounded souls. Wonderful. If we could just breathe in. Good. If you could notice Kuan Yin giving you a kiss on the cheek. If you can notice Archangel Michael with his steady gaze on you and a reassuring hand on your shoulder. Let's notice that touch on your shoulder being healing, and his telepathic message for you being, you know what to do. You are seen, you are heard, you are loved. Wonderful. If we could just breathe in. And if we could notice with your next breath, everything being in place. And let's breathe in and live the future right now. Wonderful. And if we could let the three spaces that we've been working with, the global, the personal, and the universal, come into one. And if we could say out loud, I'm a force of love in the world. And so it is. And to all the angels, Michael, Ariel, Kuan Yin, we'll say out loud to them, thank you so much. Thank you for your help. And thank you, Mother, Father God. Thank you, archangels and ascended masters, for all the goodness, all the peace, all the love, and all the joy that is here right now. We celebrate our might. We celebrate our decisiveness. We celebrate no more. We celebrate the end of mediocrity. We celebrate the infusion of excellence into the planet right now, including excellent thought. And we allow right now for great things to happen. And with great generosity, peace, and ease, we honor everyone, including those who have passed through violence, including those who have passed, including those who are in need, including those who are vibrantly alive. We honor everyone, everyone, everyone. Every tree, every body of water, every cell on the planet. And with generosity, peace, and ease, we quite simply and lovingly ask for this or something better right now in all directions of time. And so it is.